Hey everyone, welcome back to Branded. So, this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the unsexy stuff that actually makes your brand work. We're going to be stripping away sort of the fluff and like the pretty side of branding and talking about the side of it that really doesn't get enough love. Honestly, it's the side that actually makes your brand work. And more times than not, right? It's not the flashy stuff, it's not the glamorous parts of it, and you're not going to see many people talking about this on, their IG grids. But without them, your brand is going to fall apart. So we're going to pull back the curtain and we're going to talk a little bit about the systems and the structure that quietly hold everything together. So most people think that branding is like just about your logos and your colors and your clever taglines. And those things do matter. Yes, absolutely. But those are just on the surface, right? What really makes your brand work is how people experience you when they start interacting with you. So things like, is your process super clear? Do they feel taken care of throughout all of it, right? From start to finish? Can they trust that you're going to deliver what you say you promise? Those are the things that actually make your brand work. So it's not really the glitz and the glamour, right? It's the nitty gritty stuff behind the scenes. That consistency is what builds credibility. It's the clarity that makes you feel confident in your own brand. And that back end structure that nobody really wants to talk about or spend time creating, it's what actually is going to free up your time so you can start like leading your business rather than just putting out fires all over the place. Because beautiful brands, I mean, they fall apart every single day because their foundation sucks. They don't have one, to put it more plainly. So here's what this might look like out in the world. You're running a thriving coaching business. You're booked out months in advance. You've got clients that absolutely love your work. They're raving about it all the time. And your IG grid is looking better like every day. So from the outside, it's looking really on point. Everything's dialed in. But at the same time that all this wonderful stuff is happening, you're manually onboarding every single new client. You're sending out your contracts via email. You're tracking invoices in like a totally separate system. You've got like this juggling happening between how you book things because you don't even have a calendar system. And it gets to a point where it's just really, really exhausting, right? And worse than that, it's really inconsistent because some of your clients, they get you immediately, right? Because let's say your day is freed up, so you can do all this manual stuff. Well, what about when you have a day where you have a client that like you don't get back to them 2, 3 days later because you don't have any of these systems and you're in the weeds and you don't have time to communicate with them. So this inconsistency where one client gets your best and the other gets your worst, that's not a good thing, right? And this is really common, honestly. And we don't want this hurting your reputation, right? Because what you offer is great. Your clients are raving about it. Like you already know it's amazing, but you don't have that level of consistency to provide that level of excellence to every single client. But like I said, this is common. I've been there too. And every now and then, depending on sort of the ebbs and flows of my business, I find myself there again. And it sort of prompts me to be like, okay, there's a new system that I actually need to put in place here because now I have this new demand. So you don't always have everything in place all at once. It's an evolution. It happens like in stages. So early on with social media, like I thought, okay, I've got a dialed in, really polished presence, and like that's going to be enough, right? That's the brand. But it wasn't until I started creating like those back end workflows that happen when I'm sleeping, tightened up all of my communication, like how I am talking to my current and future clients, right? And invested in a system that actually created this level of consistency for me. It removed so much stress. And prior to that, I was feeling so stretched thin And you know your clients are feeling that too, right? If you're feeling super stressed, they're feeling it on the other end as well, because how could they not? It's how you show up. So let's go behind the curtain a little bit here. Let's talk about the things that actually shape how people experience you. And this is a good little analogy because so I've been in the restaurant industry for a really long time as my 9 to 5 job. Absolutely love it. Would highly recommend anybody get into restaurants if you want to learn how to have empathy, how to really flex that muscle on knowing how to anticipate the needs of people. Restaurants is where it's at. But okay, so think of your brand as a restaurant. We've all gone out to dinner, right? So even if you've never worked in a restaurant, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Let's say the food is amazing. It's absolutely delicious. The dining room is spectacularly gorgeous, but the kitchen is disorganized. Your orders are getting mixed up. The staff isn't trained, like they're not being overly kind, they're not anticipating your needs. What's going to happen if that's your experience? The food is great, the atmosphere is beautiful, but your orders were messed up and the service was terrible. Are you going to go back? Probably not. Very likely that you will not be returning to that establishment. Your brand, your business, it is exactly the same way. You can have the best offer that is presented in the most beautiful way, but if you don't have any systems to back up what you're promising, nobody's coming back. So here are three systems that, in my opinion, every owner should really, really nail down before they decide to do a rebrand or anything like that. So if you're tempted to like pour thousands into a shiny rebrand, pause and ask yourself, do I have these three systems in place? One, a client journey. Have you mapped out the step-by-step process for your clients and how they move through your business? From inquiry to offboarding, right? What happens to them from start to finish? Know what that client journey is. The second thing, a centralized CRM. This is going to be a way for you to like stop scattering your contacts all over the place. You don't want to have invoices over here, communication over here, calendars over here, email system over here. Oh my gosh, that is causing you so much stress. Having all these different platforms is, for one, really expensive. You end up paying subscriptions on top of subscriptions. And before you know it, you're getting into the double digits of how many subscriptions you're paying for every month. And you don't want to be spending more than you're making. So a centralized CRM and a really solid one, it's going to help you streamline and give your clients a seamless experience because what happens is you set up all of the systems in one place, and every time someone buys, boom, 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 everyone's connecting those same dots. They're getting the same experience. The third thing I would really nail down is like a content and task management sort of system. So this doesn't have to be fancy. This can be a Google Calendar. This can be something like Asana or ClickUp, like if you want to pay for another service, or it can be a simple spreadsheet. It does not have to be complicated. You simply need a way to track what is happening in your business because this is going to, for one, help you stay consistent, but also free up all that mental space so you can think about other shit. You don't need to constantly be like, okay, it's Monday. I got to post this content. I got to do XYZ. No, have that stuff scheduled out and give yourself a good 24, 48 hours to get things scheduled. So come Monday, you're not scrambling to get something out there. You're good. It's been scheduled. And it's not that you have to do these things 30, 60, 90 days in advance. Like, no, I actually would recommend sticking to about maybe a week or two, 30 days at most, because what'll happen is you end up losing sight of like what you were really trying to say because you've moved on, right? So it helps you stay relevant. But those three things, a really solid client journey map, a centralized CRM for all your contacts and all of like the nitty gritty system stuff like invoicing and calendars and all of that, put it all in one place And then have a spot where you can have your content and your tasks just outlined for you. So you can go to this one spot and you can see your week ahead, see your month ahead, and know exactly what you need to do. So this unsexy stuff is not glamorous. I know it's not. All the clients that I have that I talk to about this is the part that I would say almost every single business owner does not recognize how important it actually is until we really get in and we start having the conversation and they can see the potential of how much time this is going to free up for them. And not just time, how much mental capacity this frees up for them. It's such a game changer. So this kind of work is what separates businesses that simply just look good to the ones that actually work. You want to be one that works, right? Because your brand isn't just the visuals that people see, it's the systems and the consistency behind the scenes that helps make your clients feel really confident in working with you. So before you go investing in a brand new logo and like all of the fancy fun stuff, make sure your foundation is really solid because that's where the magic happens. So if today's episode got you thinking about your business and all the ways that you can really amplify it, especially moving into quarter 4, like at the time of this recording, I'd love to hear about it. DM me on Instagram at Social Jane Media. Honestly, like I'm in there. I don't have a VA or anything, so you'll be talking right to me. And if you have a business bestie that has a really beautiful brand, but they are struggling in the back end, send this to them with a little bit of a hug and a kiss, right? Because it's all non-judgmental. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Short, sweet, to the point, and I'll be back next week with a whole new one. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much for listening to Branded, the podcast. Please rate and review, and for more information, visit socialjanemedia.com.